to come back because we've
been
been
here for years, baby. That's right.
all
That's
night
right.
like porch lights here. We are back, the huddle, for a very special summertime episode. I am your host, Spencer Huddleston, from the beautiful Market Street Studios on a Friday afternoon. I'm looking around this place. I'm seeing brand new equipment. It looks like a DJ booth off camera over here. It's crazy. These guys are doing great.
Leighton and Drew are killing it down here. There's brick wall sets now. I think, we're outside of just the conference room here. So their shows are blowing up. I can't even, what the number of shows they've got now from when we were last on is pretty impressive.
That's
so
why they haven't let us back in. They've classied this place up, and you and I can't. we didn't make the cut, I guess. So with me, as always, is half of the artist formerly known as Greg Hoffman. Greg, the last episode we did was a Thanksgiving episode, and you have had zero turkey and stuffing between now and then. You're looking great.
Thanks, brother. And don't sell yourself short now. I'd like to figure out a combined weight loss here. We're probably be enough to stick a third person in this chair.
It might
here,
be one
so,
Brad Weaves. You're probably right.
After Christmas time, I came up with a diet program. It's called Lose Like a Lineman, right up my alley. It was Nick Hardwick that was the center for the Chargers for about 12 years on those Phillip Rivers and LaDainian Tomlinson teams. He's big into the fitness diet world. I came across him on a podcast, speaking my language, and it was time to get serious about fitness again.
What's the program? What are you doing day to day?
So the gist, in very simplest terms, it's 90% of this has been diet.
Yeah.
It is his program is built around eating 600 calorie meals in a rotation to confuse your metabolism. So you get 4 600 calorie meals on day one, you get 2 of them on day 2, 3 of them day 3, and then only 1 600 calorie meal on day 4. Go back and do that rotation. Take 2 weeks off. Do that for 4 weeks. 2 weeks off. Back for 4 weeks. Started that, early January, and I'm down 70.
That's awesome.
Yep. In about 5 months. So
I feel like my program has been a little bit less prescriptive. So my wife and I both went through Tyler Minton's challenge, the local UFC guy here, so awesome nutritionist. Here lately, though, after we've kind of stabled out on that program, I've started a new workout program where I get on my bike, I ride out on Boones Creek Road from, right about the train trellis in Boones Creek.
Yep.
Over to Jonesboro to the Pancake House. And I eat a stack of pancakes.
You got a carb load for the ride back,
and
right?
And then come back. Yeah, we're still in training. So a lot of times the ride back is actually a van ride. Like I'll have a pickup after the pancakes because it's,
You got to go comatose after all the carbs and sugar, right?
Life is about balance, I think. And that's really
so, last week, Father's Day, of course, you post the picture, the dad wad, man. It's shirt off, working out in the driveway. I had images of T.O., man, out there doing push-ups and sit-ups in the driveway, dude.
Yeah,
you're jacked, man.
I caught a lot of flack in the group chats about that. They told me I was looking
was that little side flex there?
I wasn't even trying. I mean, it's the angles really, and the lighting is the biggest thing. But I got compared to a wannabe men's fitness ad.
Wannabe, man. I don't know. You were selling it for me, man.
Hey, that's it. Those kettlebell swings will get you. They'll get you going. But hey, we've had a ball here. We're missing Brad. We're going to try and get Brad back for a future episode to really show you what fitness is.
I'm in Brad's seat, like. The beauty seat right now, man. It's like I'm not doing this seat much justice. We need Brad back in here.
Yeah, boys got upgraded. We'll bring Brad back for the top line here. But Greg, we got to talk some sports, got to talk some fun that we're doing over the summer. Man, just tell me what you've been into this summer. What are you watching? There's some new fun stuff out there, some baseball, some soccer. We're coming back into crowds post-COVID. What's your big summertime ticket so far?
Summertime ticket so far. Work, sports related. Bristol put dirt on the racetrack, ran the first dirt race in NASCAR since 1970, was wildly successful. We were still under some COVID limitations there from an attendance standpoint, but still had a fantastic crowd and a great event. Going to bring that back next year. We were just talking before we went on the air here. We had the boys from Dude Perfect out there last Friday. They put on a fantastic show. We'll culminate that into a video that they'll release later in the fall, but had just a fantastic time with those guys in town for the end of last week. Picked up a little bit of outdoors, a little hunting, fishing over the kind of wintertime, springtime, some turkey hunting, some trout fishing. So taking advantage of all the beautiful nature around here.
Sneaky trout fishing like Mecca around
this
area.
This is per mile of that river, the South Holston and the Watauga, more trout in those rivers per mile than any other river or stream in the country.
What's your you do the fly fishing?
So I have linked up with a gentleman, and he does spin casting and more of these little baits, Joe's flies. I mean, they're not not feather light, but we've had luck on those the last several times we've been out.
I've heard that it's all about the cast, and then there's also an inverse relationship to the number of beers you take with you before you get on the river.
There's definitely an equation there, no question. So I've done some float trips before, but that was the last couple of times I've been out, done the wader fishing, and that was life changing right there. I mean, you're out there on the water and that picturesque setting here in Northeast Tennessee. The steam rising up off the river in the mornings, and you're in a whole other world, and it's minutes from where we're sitting right here.
You're selling it. I'm into it as we speak. I did my first ever experience on a stand-up paddleboard several weeks ago on the French Broad River. Felt like I maintained it. A lot of core work on the stand-up paddleboard. Got sabotaged by Nikki about 3/4 of the way down. Ended up, swimming the last little bit. But
I've done that a few times. A trip out to Hawaii, and I think the being tall, your balance and everything there. I didn't love it. I didn't love it.
Well, and when they train you, they kind of they set the board out on the side of the river, and he says, when you want to get set up on the board, you really start with this kind of pike yoga pose. And I knew at that moment, I thought, I don't know if I have the flexibility or the interest.
Flexibility, center of gravity, some waves. I can see where it was a great workout, but it's not something I jumped into and going to take out on Boone Lake anytime soon.
Well, we powered through, and I think that's been my my theme. I think for the summer sports too. The big one to me that's jumped out, Tennessee baseball. Tennessee fans are just a desperate fan base, looking for some anywhere we can find it. And the absolute gem that was that baseball team as they ran through the tail end of their season, went through the super regionals, went through the SEC tournament. I mean, they were a fun team to watch. They had the daddy hat every time that they hit home runs. They were just a ball. And then in perfect, typical Tennessee fashion, you get to the big show, and then there's heartbreak. And I think that's a Tennessee fan in a nutshell right now. You just don't really have that that high that takes you to feels like 98.
Yeah, there's been several years of mediocrity in there, but yeah, the whole college baseball experience. I just from having a daughter that's gone through the softball world, I enjoyed the Women's College World Series on the softball side as well. There were some fantastic games there, some Cinderella stories with James Madison going far, and the Oklahoma team that ended up winning was just a historic team there that went on just an incredible run. So yeah, lots to look forward to on the stick and ball side.
What's your usual college baseball appetite during a given summer? Is that usually a thing you tap into?
From my own personal standpoint, I mean, if Louisville baseball has had a couple of runs in the last 5 years, if they're in it, I'm much more engaged, similar to how you were with Tennessee.
That's it.
They had a great team this year and just wilted, folded like a cheap suit, wilted like a cheap suit, if I want to mix my metaphors.
There you go. We're stretching. It's preseason for everybody.
So yeah, they didn't make Omaha, and so I followed the Tennessee story, but was watching more softball than baseball.
It kind of just makes you think about, as a sports fan, the things and the places that you want to do, and being able to, go to those places like Omaha, hearing the stories about the coaches and all the fans and everything. It seems like such a cool event, but I don't think 2002, 2005 was the last time Tennessee was involved in it. So
Yeah.
you're talking about once a generation, a team like
SEC
that.
baseball. I mean, that's that's the pinnacle. And you got so many teams in that conference that, I mean, you got a team like Vandy who that's their baseball school, so
Yeah.
you got a team like Vandy that struggles in all other sports, and, is a baseball powerhouse, but just on down the conference, SEC baseball is fantastic.
What's your in a similar, how interested are you in this sport? It's the Euro Cup, the soccer league this year. What's your appetite for Euro League soccer?
Somewhere between 0 and 1. So sorry, I can't go with you on that one.
I feel like it's another one of those where it's like my interest level in it is conditional based on what the impacts are to the United States.
Yeah.
And if there is some type of, World Cup implication, if the stars are aligned. I tell you, the thing that really jumped out at me was the Coke incident with Ronaldo. Did you see that?
Yes.
And the valuation for Coke?
Yeah, their stock price went down. Yeah, it's just, the evaluation there, the media exposure, and the messaging around that is, to have a worldwide superstar like that, either endorse or,
Well, yeah,
in this case, deny your product.
Yeah, for the audience, that like every other, like Saban gets up after his press conferences. They had a bottle of Coke sitting there when Cristiano Ronaldo was about to interview, and he looks at the Coke bottle in disgust, like you do at carbohydrates these days. He takes the Coke bottle, puts it down, and then holds up a bottle of water and says "agua." And within 24 hours, Coke's stock value dropped $4 billion.
Yeah.
Just the decisions that you make. There are things that I do at my house that, I've got no influence on, things that happen in my own home. And Cristiano Ronaldo can move the needle on an international company like that.
Yeah. Well, it on the flip side, it shows the value of influencers on, that superstar, the star power in sports and movies and entertainment. And that's why those brands attach themselves to these personalities.
Yeah,
because it can move the needle.
That's true. Yep. Post Malone and his Bud Light tattoos. I mean, you're talking about brand awareness, right?
Case after case, baby.
That's it. Hey, Greg, we're having some fun here. We've got to add a couple brand new segments now that we've had some time off and some kickback time. The first one here is a new segment that we call "Find Me a Fan." So for our crowd, the purpose behind this segment is to really debate: is there a fan or a fan base that can beat a certain case scenario? And I'm going to open you up with some NBA basketball here. A little bit of a deep cut. Find me a fan that's been more valuable to his team than the Suns in 4 guy.
Ooh,
that got in the fight, and then all of a sudden that team is just unbeatable.
I mean, there's, he has become the symbol of their playoff run here, and I mean, a local celebrity. I mean, maybe even arguably a national celebrity, depending on your level of NBA
tell us
fandom.
The story. What was the play-by-play of this fight caught on camera with this kid?
So yeah, it was one of these scuffles in the arena, and at the end of it on camera, he's like Suns in 4, and that became kind of the rally cry. And these fans are showing up to these games to get their picture with this guy. He's throwing up the old school 4 horsemen and all that. So yeah, it is the symbolic run of the Phoenix Suns basketball team right now.
And I can't I tried to think of the fans that the one that used to jump out to me when Mariota was a quarterback for the Titans, the guy that was always in the pineapple outfit. I don't think he was particularly motivational, but he was representative of the Mariota era, at least.
It's a good point. You've got all these fan bases that they have their one stereotypical fan, that's always on camera, from the Jets guy, the barrel outfit, the fireman. I remember the Eagles run there. They had that guy that had the silver and green painted up face and
Oh,
always
yeah.
had whatever star linebacker was there that year. I saw his work firsthand one year. We went up to a game in Washington when Akers was playing, and he proceeded to take on the entire upper deck at whatever it was then, FedEx Field, RFK, whatever it was at the time, but did not back down from about 40 rabid Washington fans.
Those are your motivators. I mean, I have a hard time thinking that would have an effect on the product on the field, but man, Suns in 4. They did it.
That's right.
You got to find me a fan.
I'd go with more fan bases. It just back to UT frustrated fan bases. Let me ask you, since that's your next one, in the vein of UT football and the fan expectations and maybe what reality is, give me your next best comparison to the UT football frustration.
Well, I'll start with unpacking the last 48 to 72 hours as a Tennessee fan, or those of you playing along at home in this sad state of affairs. Second drug arrest in 6 months for the 5-star quarterback prospect Caden Salter, dismissed from the team yesterday, day before yesterday, within 3 or 4 hours following Malachi Weidman, the 4-star wide receiver recruit, very close to Caden Salter, also decommitted, entered the transfer portal. And so it's the seventh circle, as always, for Tennessee fans. And so now when you read the message boards and all this stuff, we've become a fan base that has all these weird subjective ways of saying, like, what defines success? Like, what would you consider success as a Tennessee fan? And we've gone down to like where I considered Vandy and those teams to be in the past, where it's like, have fun, be competitive, score some points. And it's debilitating. And to answer your direct question, maybe Nebraska.
I had written down a couple. Nebraska was one. I think above them is South Miami at the U. I mean, you look at that history, tradition, and dynasty that they had rolling through the 80s, 90s. They came back with that run in the early 2000s. And really since 2001, since that team went through, I mean, they're so much mediocrity and just expectations that were set that have not even come close to living up to that.
And that's such a good one. And I think that's a good one because in order to make that criteria, you almost have to be frustrated, not successful, but then there has to be like a real solid shake of delusional.
Yeah.
And that's where I think these fan bases are. You're almost, Tennessee fans are frustrated by the fact that Peyton Manning's nephew is out there in an Alabama uniform and they don't think he's going to come to Tennessee. And you're like, why would he? What makes you think he would?
If there is a top 5 that includes Tennessee, they're number 5 on that board.
But
to your point, why would he? And I've always, the last year or two, as you followed his career, he seems like somebody kind of like, not that Eli blazed his own path with his dad's history there, but seemed more in that vein where he, I mean, can you imagine somebody like him going to Saban or, to Clemson? I mean, with the runs and the success that they've had, I mean,
and the talent that surrounds. Yeah. I mean, just completely understandable. But as a fan in that valley, you got to tell yourself the deeper the valley, the higher the mountaintop. I think, right? I mean, that's
you got to tell yourself that.
That's the only way through.
You got to tell yourself that.
Well, the other alternative is what? Like, fill out a petition to start joining another fan base. Like, slowly start wearing different gear. Like, I don't know a way out. Like, I'm too deep.
That's part of that's fandom, right? I mean, it's like, yeah, you're in. I mean, you get these fan bases. Well, they've had a little. They're optimistic. The Cleveland Browns fans. I mean, they're in it, and they're going to be in it for life. So yeah, you can't start stripping off that orange.
That's part of it, and it becoming now. Raising another generational Tennessee fan in my house, and my son it's almost like I have to acknowledge that fact too, that I'm bringing you into this pain, and it's Michael Corleone. I'm taking you into the world. I'm bringing you into this, knowing, the future that you've got in store for you, and maybe, maybe the brighter days are ahead. But that's it. I can't find a more frustrated fan than Tennessee right now.
Yeah, that's got to be the pinnacle. And even my Miami example, while their pattern of success on the field, they have such a fan base that's indifferent. I mean, so you don't have that passion from an overall fan base like Tennessee fans.
Well, Greg, we're going to train here. You've clearly been working on the diet plan, the health and fitness plan, but we're going to test ourselves here and see, have we been training our sports knowledge in the off season for the huddle? And the way that we're going to do that, we're going to start a new segment here too, called the Obscure Sports Guru, which is not the easiest segment to say, writing it on paper. The way this one's going to work, we have identified several sports terms that are obscure, really. I mean, they're way out there. Some of them I wasn't even sure how to pronounce when I wrote them down. And I tried, for purposes of objectivity, I tried to not read the definitions of any of these. So what we're going to do, we have several pieces of paper in front of us. I'll give you the honors. You want to go ahead and draw this one?
I get first pick.
Yeah,
huh?
and I think we're going to need, we're going to have to use the Google here so that we can source our responses. But
Are you fact checking me?
I'm going to fact check you, and you're welcome to do the same. I think what we'll do is read your term out loud. I tried to give you the sport that it was within, and then let's hear your definition of it, and we'll see how dead on we are as sports.
So what I select, I have to give the definition.
That's it.
Okay. Let's go with this far one here.
Okay. Like reading the Oscar winner. The drama is palpable in the room here at Market Street Studios.
Chin in boxing?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to go with the obvious here, right? Is this like, how strong your chin is? This is like Glass Joe and Mike, Mike Tyson's Punch Out
All
here.
right. I think you're dead on. I think that's what it is. Yes. Chin. In combat sports such as boxing, kickboxing, and MMA, a chin is a figurative term that refers to the ability to tolerate physical trauma.
I mean, I'm just, again, going back to Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I
That's
mean,
it.
your entry fight was Glass Joe. And I mean, one shot to the jaw and he was down.
That was it.
You advanced on.
So
Don Flamenco #2 or something like that.
Yeah, to use it in a sentence, the emotional chin of the Tennessee fan base is staggeringly strong right now. Okay, here's mine. I got another. This is a good tee up one. Frozen rope, baseball term.
Nice.
I think this one's pretty easy. Laser, a shot, a throw that is made dead on target. Frozen rope.
I mean, I'm thinking like old school Roberto Clemente. Trying to think of the All-Star game example, but yeah, those strong right fielders throwing it from the corner.
No arc to the ball.
I mean, either the throw to third, home. Yeah, done. Frozen rope.
That's the frozen rope. All right, you're up. I got to get harder. I think they get harder.
Golden set tennis.
Ooh, I didn't know that one.
Golden set.
You got to go to the bathroom during the match. That's a whole different. That's a whole nother
alternate definition. Golden set.
Oh, here we
is
go.
That like the fifth set in a marathon tennis match? I mean, that's going to be my best guess.
I feel like that's a good guess. A golden set is a set which is won without losing a single point, scoring the 24 minimum points required to win the set 6-0. So like skunking, I think would be the same thing. All right. I'm going to take a shot at one. Okay. No idea on this one, and it's the one that I hoped I did not draw. This is a running term, and it's called a fartlek.
I actually know what this is.
Oh, great. I'm glad you don't have to.
And that is in one of my previous fitness psychotic modes that I get in. I was, believe it or not, a marathon runner.
Okay.
So yes.
And so this is a marathoning term?
A distance running term.
Okay. So I'm going to guess that the fartlek is don't even know. Like eating during a run?
Trying to tie that to digestion, I think.
I guess. I don't know.
No, it's really when you're trying to improve your distance running, improve your times, and it's speed work. So it's in the middle of these longer runs, you're out and you mix in some sprinting with that
Okay.
to improve your cardiovascular and your running times.
Named after
I have no
famous
idea.
distance
Yes,
runner
maybe.
Bob Fartlek.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
From Saskatchewan.
Well, you're clearly, just with that one alone, you're clearly in the leader of the clubhouse here. Let's see what you got. Draw another one.
Deke in hockey. I mean, I want to say that's kind of like it'd be like some sort of fake out, kind of a killer crossover of the hockey world.
I think that's it.
Allen Iverson, that's where I'm going with that.
I'm channeling my childhood favorite Mighty Ducks movie where they do the triple D.
Ooh,
which
nice.
was,
Yes,
several kind of
yes,
drags back
yeah.
in each direction. I think that's it.
Okay.
The killer crossover. We're doing way better at this than what I thought.
It's our well-rounded sports nature.
And this one, I'm glad I drew this one because I didn't even tee this up. The whole reason that this segment was born was because I saw a picture of you as a lacrosse dad. And I thought that you have grown into, these sports that were not mainstream as you and I were growing up, but now are. So this is part of the reason. And I just drew this lacrosse term, spoon.
Spoon. I actually do know what this is.
Okay, well here we go.
It is. Yeah, it is. As I've landed in this lacrosse world, I mean, it's a lot of course, hockey influences, a lot of hockey crossover. Some soccer mixed in with that. But
so I'm gonna call the spoon, like if you've got what do you like, a lacrosse ball, a puck? What do you call the
ball?
Okay,
yeah.
So the lacrosse ball is coming towards you, and you scoop down to get it. That's a spoon. It's like a pick up and carry.
You're on the right track.
All
I mean,
right.
the lacrosse stick has got the head on it, and you look at that, and they generically call your lacrosse stick a spoon.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
There you go.
No, see, this is all again a new world for me. Gabe has played 3 or 4 years of lacrosse now, but now up to the high school level, and that was his first travel tournament. We were in Charleston last weekend, so I'm new to this lacrosse world, but it's something most definitely it would have been my spring sport growing up. Complement to football. So yeah, great sport that's growing in the Tri-Cities here. So yeah, any terms that I can share with you on the lacrosse field, I'm happy to do it.
Keep me from being a stranger in a strange land there. Like hit me with one more solid lacrosse term that I would
again with the hockey crossovers here. It's kind of more of an attitude and a mindset and style. Go again, hockey and lacrosse.
Okay.
Lettuce.
The hair, right?
Absolutely,
okay.
man.
Lettuce,
Absolutely. You've got a nice head of lettuce.
Top shelf cheese.
Oh, you got the hockey hair, and it could be mullet, but it's that long flowing locks.
Okay.
The lettuce. I've heard that term thrown around a lot.
I love it.
Gabe has grown his hair out longer as he's gotten into this lacrosse
to get
world,
the appropriate lettuce.
Yes.
Okay. Not a lettuce podcast today. Maybe when Brad comes back, this will be a lettuce podcast.
We don't have to worry about our lettuce.
I ain't worried about it. Yep. Hey, Greg, hit me with your last one here.
I have done some cycling. I really don't know what this is. Baby heads.
I don't either.
Baby heads in cycling. I'm trying to draw even any inference on this whatsoever to get a start.
Okay.
And I'm blanking.
All right. It's a mountain biking term. Does that help you out at all?
Yeah, maybe some kind of low level bumps on the trail.
Wow. Round rocks about the size and shape of a baby's head to avoid running over when mountain biking.
You can see that. I was more on the road bike. That's where I was not coming with anything.
I feel like you just hit that game like 100%. Did you miss any of the ones you got?
Once you gave me that last little,
Man,
you know.
okay. I'm gonna hit my last one here. Let's see how we do. No chance. Another one, fluffus, which is a gymnastics term. And I mean, I'm full blanking on this one. I feel like to maintain the integrity of the Market Street Media Studios, I should not answer my initial inclination. Let me just Google this one and see what the fluffus gymnastics term is. I mean, I would imagine some kind of flip term or cartwheel term. Let's see. It's a trampoline term. It is a double front somersault with 1/2 twist. So I think we're on there.
I'll give it to you.
The fliffus.
Fliffus or fluffus?
It's fliffus, and I wrote it
Okay.
down as fluffus.
Snuffleupagus.
That's it. Clearly, we're
All right, I got a
turning
bonus
off.
round for you.
All right, hit me. Extra credit.
Nutmeg in soccer.
Oh yeah, come on now. I just said we're dialed in. That one's between the wickets, right? Kicking right between the legs.
That's right.
Okay, got another.
Good job.
That's it.
We'll go back to a lacrosse term.
Okay.
Fogo.
Fogo.
It's an more of an acronym.
Okay. Because I'm thinking sluggo, like the football, slant and go route. Nothing like that. Fogo is not. Okay. Fire one. I got.
So this is again something that I was unfamiliar with, but there's of course specialty positions in lacrosse. I would equate this to more like the punter.
Okay.
Has one job. So the Fogo is face off, get off. So there are you develop a specialty to as a face-off specialist.
Okay.
So you go out there, you either win or lose on your face-off, and you're sprinting off the field as they're bringing in either, depending on the outcome, either, an offensive specialist or a defensive specialist.
That's great. The Fogo guy.
The Fogo guy.
I like that.
There are guys just like kickers and punters in college that are on scholarship just because of their face-off skills.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I have grown as a lacrosse fan today, if only from understanding the specialization of the Fogo.
Come and see a game, even at the high school level. It's something that baseball just moved a little too slow for Gabe.
Yeah.
He played and liked it. But once he got into lacrosse, I mean, it is football, hockey, soccer, all mixed together. It's a fun sport. It's a good sport. A lot of action. So there's a lot of kids that maybe see that and are intimidated by catching a ball with your stick and everything there. But what I tell everybody is you can play defense, be involved in the game, and then you learn your offensive skills from there. But yeah.
And specialize.
Yeah.
The real key, it sounds like to me, is having the appropriate lettuce.
You have to have the appropriate lettuce.
Hey, that's right. Well, although we are not an appropriate lettuce crowd, we are really super psyched to surprise the Huddle fans with an episode coming back this summer. I think we're going to get Mr. Weems back in, maybe have some time with Leighton coming up soon. We missed you guys. We're looking forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks for tuning in on the Huddle. Have a good one.
Appreciate you guys. Miss you. Be back soon.